Hello and welcome back to Hot Take here on No Bullshit, where we review the latest movies and give you our hot take on them. Today we're talking about the latest movie from action star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson called Rampage. Does it live up to the hype? Is it a great action-packed blockbuster thriller? We're going to talk about that right now. Yes, Rampage delivers for sure. It's a great action picture. Lots of good stuff in there. The Rock delivers, and the special effects and the action are also really top notch. The monsters are great in this movie. Not only are the monsters really well done in this movie, there are three big ones that we're going to get to, but the cast was also a really good one too. Not just The Rock either. We had a special guest appearance which surprised me from Negan, the guy from The Walking Dead, who did a really good cowboy secret agent character in the movie. All in all, I would say Rampage is a wonderful follow-up to the movie San Andreas from 2015. This is the same team behind that picture, and if you enjoyed that one, you're gonna like Rampage too. Couple differences here between San Andreas. Both are blockbusters starring The Rock Johnson, and both have a lot of buildings and stuff falling down, but the great twist with Rampage is the monsters in the movie. Let's go ahead and get into a summary of the story. Basically, Rampage is set on Earth, and there's this company, this high-tech company who's studying and trying to make this super serum and make some money. Essentially, they don't get too much into the science, but basically they're making this stuff out in space, and 3 capsules fall from their space station and crash on Earth. And in each of these 3 capsules lands in different places and creates different monsters. One lands by a gorilla, one lands by a wolf, and one lands by an alligator. And all 3 turn into giant, supersized, supercharged monsters. Not only do they grow in size, but they each gain some special powers too. One of my favorite parts of the movie was the wolf one that ends up having these gliding things under his arms. He turns corners and glides off of buildings and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And not to spoil too much about the ending, but when you finally see the alligator, the lizard monster, it's a really great surprise towards the end. So yeah, essentially, these 3 monsters are created by these failed experiments, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is particularly attached to the gorilla. He was the one that was originally training that gorilla before it started growing supersized. So he follows the gorilla around, and we all try to solve this mystery. The government comes in, the military, all that fun stuff, and it turns into a really great picture. With the summary out of the way, I'll go ahead and say again, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does a great job in this movie. Good acting. He does some sign language stuff, which was a lot of fun. He hangs out with the gorilla a lot. He does his normal shtick. He jumps around, hangs off of buildings, saves people's lives. Classic Rock Johnson. And my other favorite character in the movie was back to Negan, the actor from The Walking Dead. He appears in this movie, and he has some of the same sort of tendencies. He makes some of the best lines in the movie of all. He plays this secret agent guy who's kind of hired by the government, and he delivers some of the best lines in the movie. You know those kind of lines that kind of make you laugh in an action picture, those cheesy sort of lines, but at the same time, you also like them. That's what the Rampage movie does for me. It's a cheesy, over-the-top action movie, but if you just enjoy it and have fun with it, it's a good time. A couple of other good characters in the movie were the villains, played by this brother-sister couple, and they have a lot of good chemistry. They're evil, but the brother is kind of dumb, and the girl is more evil, and they play off of that really well. This also reminds me that, of course, this movie is based on a video game. This is a video game movie. Rampage is an arcade game from way back in the day, and I myself played a few versions on Nintendo 64 and PlayStation in the late 90s. Anyone that's played those games too is really going to enjoy this movie. This is definitely one of the better video game movies. I would put it up there with Mortal Kombat or maybe the first Resident Evil movie. It's that good. This one, of course, is a different kind of movie. It's a monster movie, almost like a Godzilla meets King Kong kind of thing, since there's 3 monsters and you throw a wolf in there and it turns into a big mess. That's fun to watch. The monsters, of course, are really well done, and that's pretty much key for this movie, since at the end of the day, it is a monster movie. But this movie is like a monster movie with 3 monsters, so it kind of spices things up. You're not just going after King Kong, you're not just going after Godzilla, you've got 3 different ones fighting each other at some points, fighting together at other points, and another time something else happens which turns into a great twist at the end. The monster fights are very exciting, especially the ending. I mean, I thought things were going to end a little earlier, and then they turn into this whole other big fight, and it was a lot of excitement, a lot of fun to watch. The graphics are good, the fight animations are good. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson brings everything together, being the hero, kind of like fighting alongside the gorilla character. all lots of fun. So at the end of the day, I would say if you like action movies, if you like blockbusters, if you like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, this is something I would definitely see. And if you were a fan of the Rampage video games, definitely check it out too, because there's a few little drops in there, a few little homages. There's an arcade game in the back of one of the scenes with the villains. There's a couple other references to the video games. They try to pull stuff from the video game a lot, and not too much, but what they do pull out is really good. For example, they have the military brought in there, which is also in the game. They have the spy stuff in there, and they even bring in this chill pill, which was a gimmick in the game. It was a thing they used to calm down the monsters and would shrink you, and that's introduced in this movie as well, which was a nice touch. With all that said, let's go ahead and bring out the hot take meter. I would easily give this movie 3.5 flames out of 5. Not quite a 4, not quite a breathtaking movie, but definitely a solid 3 and more so. That's why I give it 3.5. It's fun to watch, it's above average, but it's also not going to break any new ground here. It's just a good, classic, fun action movie. The Rock delivers once again. If you like him, if you like Rampage, go check it out. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hot Take, guys. Next week we're going to be going over Super Troopers 2, so stay tuned.